quick reminder, we've been talking a lot about prophets lately. Last week, for example, in the gospel, we heard Jesus refer to himself as a prophet. And the fact that in his hometown, nobody was willing to believe in him. And he has that famous line about a prophet is always with honor except in his own place. And tonight we hear more about prophets and prophesying. And that wonderful first reading from the great prophet Amos. Amos? Isaiah, you probably heard about. Jeremiah, you probably heard of. Amos? He sounds like the guy next door. What's interesting about the selection that we've been given tonight is the fact we don't hear what he had to say. We hear what the priest there, what the official church authority had to say, and how he responded to that. We don't hear what Amos was actually prophesying about. And you have to remember that in the Jewish community, a prophet was not someone who foretold the future. A prophet is someone who spoke in the name of God. That's what the word prophetes means. It means to speak on behalf of another. In this case, to speak on behalf of God. And so a prophecy will usually begin, "Thus saith the Lord." And off will come the prophecy. Your homework assignment is, go look up Amos. This is not exactly a sweetness and light kind of guy. In fact, each chapter's got a different name. The first woe, the second woe, the third woe. This is a powerful prophet. He delivers a very powerful message. The people at the time were not very dedicated to the covenant with God. They were all about greed and making themselves wealthy, and the dividing line between rich and poor was extraordinary. And what God was sending Amos to do was to say, get back, understand what you're supposed to be and who you're supposed to be as my people. That is never a popular message. And so we see Amos being rejected, kicked out of town. And what's Amos say? Hey, I'm not a pro at this. I'm not a professional prophet. I'm not part of this wandering teams that go around the countryside. I'm a farmhand. I'm a farmhand. And the Lord picked me and said, tell the people this. That's who I am. I'm just an ordinary guy given an extraordinary job. Now let's think about that when we hear the gospel. Think about the resume of those 12 that Jesus sends out. Not a single one of them was a rabbi. Not a single one of them was some kind of religious professional. They were just ordinary people, fishermen, tax collectors, whatever. The power that they speak with comes from God. And that's the point. Ordinary people given an extraordinary job. The message for us today, I think, is quite clear. We're all ordinary people. And yet, do we respond to our call to be prophets in the world today? Do we speak on behalf of God? And this isn't something, my sisters and brothers, that we can say, well, maybe I'll get that call someday. Too late. Too late. Oh, if only I could distribute this like we did the water. This is sacred chrism. Anybody here who's been baptized, you've been anointed with this. And the prayer that we say talks about you becoming like Christ, priest, prophet, and king. If you've been confirmed, you were confirmed with this oil. The Second Vatican Council says that when you are baptized, you are obliged to spread the good news. And when you are confirmed, you are more strictly obliged to spread the good news. This isn't a vocation that you might get in the future. This is a vocation we've all already received. We are ordinary people who have been given an extraordinary task to be the voice of God in our world. And we can find out what we're supposed to be doing by listening to the end of the gospel. What does Jesus tell the 12? Go out and cast out demons. Give people peace. Give them wholeness. Let them know of God's love for them. That's what each one of us here is called to do and to be. We don't rely simply on religious professionals to do it. We have been anointed. We have been called to be prophet to the world today.